Welcome to the video, guys. So the Democratic politician Kamala Harris appeared at the Big Ideas Forum being hosted by the Democratic-leaning organisation Move On, where she gave a 5-minute speech on her big idea to end the gender pay gap she thinks exists before taking questions on the subject. As we all know, this is a baseless claim made by radical feminists who think a woman working 4 hours a day, 5 days a week should be paid the same as a guy working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. They ignore any mitigating factors to get their figures, which you will hear this US Democratic politician spout some fantastical figures for what she considers the oppressed victims of the white patriarchy. Now, after her speech, an animal rights activist climbs on the stage and approaches in a fairly calm manner, attempting to take the mic from her to raise his own issues, which the announcer is quick to shout over, so I could not make out what was said before he was bundled off by security. She is lucky. In the UK, that could have been a milkshake. Now let's watch her full speech and then go over some of the points she makes and watch the activists storming the stage. Wow, so before we go into her ridiculous speech, what the actual fuck was that dance? Is her name Theresa May? Why do these cringy politicians think it's a good idea to dance across the stage? You look ridiculous, it's not cool, people are laughing at you, not with you.
I got a lot of ideas, but I'm going to share one of them with you, and it's about equal pay. Okay, so here's the thing. 1963, what happened? Many things. Equal Pay Act was passed. So that said, hey, look, women aren't paid equally as men for the same amount of work. So we need to obviously have a law about it, because otherwise we can't get people to do the right thing. 1963 is passed.
I love how she brings up a law that rubbishes her claims before she even makes them. How did this woman become a politician? She must be dumb as a plank to not realise by citing this law that come in more than 50 years ago, making companies pay women the same amount as men do when doing the same job. But of course, she will skew the data to fit her narrative, so let's continue.
Fast forward to the year of our Lord, 2019. Women are paid 80 cents on the dollar to men, black women 61 cents, Native American women 58 cents, Latinas 53 cents. I like the cap that you're wearing. Enough! Exclamation point. Right? Enough. Because it's not a debatable point. It's not a debatable point. It has been the case for decades that women are paid less than men for the same work. So that's off the table for discussion. Is it an issue?
So here she throws out some figures on the gender pay gap. How women get 80 cents on the dollar compared to men. Black woman gets 61 cents, a Native American woman gets 58 cents, and a Latino woman gets 53 cents on the dollar. And how that is not debatable. Well, I will debate that with you right now. Let's start with the obvious. If a company could pay women, or any group for that matter, almost half of what they had to pay the rest of the workforce, they would only ever employ that women. Because I have some shocking revelations for feminists in 2019. Companies only care about making money, so would never pay more than they have to for labour. The stupidity of people baffles me. This is basic common sense for anyone who lives in the real world. Then let's not forget the countless studies done that refutes these baseless claims these radical feminists constantly push.
Here's what I'm proposing. Big idea. So here's how it works out. So let's say the woman is working, maybe she's got the guy who sits next to her if it's an open space, maybe he's in the cubicle next to her, and they're doing the same work, and then maybe they meet at the food truck, or on the elevator, or, old school at the water cooler, right? And they're talking about, I don't know, what they got the kids for their birthday. And she's like, you got your kids some really serious stuff. My kids didn't get that. I wonder what's going on here. I wonder if we're paid the same amount. And then the other things start happening. He rolls up in some car and it's kind of, out of her pay grade. She's like, what's going on here?
So she starts off her big idea, placing a woman working next to a man who worked the same job, but the woman thinks he is paid more than her and automatically thinks he is being paid more because he is a man. What she should be considering is the type of job that they do. Is it a target-based position with commissions or bonus depending on performance? Do they work the exact same hours or the same amount of days? I notice she conveniently leaves out the amount of hours worked in her speech. She has to disregard that fact to continue with her nonsensical big idea, I guess.
So she goes to the supervisor. I'd like to know if John and I are getting paid the same amount. The supervisor says, can't tell you about salaries. So then she goes to EOC and they say, well, you know, give us some more information. Do you have anything else, right? So that means she's got to on her own start investigating. And then maybe if she gets enough, she can take a complaint, and then maybe she even has to take it to court to sue on the issue, sue the employer, which means she's got to come out of her own pocket for a lawyer.
No, they won't say we need more information. They will say your wages are based on hours worked or performance depending on the pay scheme your employer has. Now, this will all be of course in line with the law. They won't make you investigate. They will put you straight with the facts since they have access to them. You know, they work out your pay each week or each month, so they know this information.
This is a working woman who's got a job. She may have kids. She may be a single mother. And we're putting the burden on her to make sure the employer is doing what by law they're required to do. So here's my big idea. Shift the burden. Okay, right? So what I am requiring and will require when elected President of the United States is that the burden will shift to the employer to prove that they are paying women the same amount as men for the same work.
Well, that will be easy as the law already makes them do that. Since when you use the correct data to make the analysis, they are equal or thereabouts. Your imaginary statistics won't hold up against the data. Now, I can't fault her on her ambition. She must really believe she has a chance to become President of the United States. Given the level of statistical ignorance shown in her speech, I trust the American people would not elect this fraud.
Then, because I'm all into also enforcement, so I am also prepared, as part of my initiative and my big idea, to say to those corporations, until you are paying women equally for the work they are performing, for every 1% differential between what the woman is making versus what the man is making, so let's say there's a 1% differential. No, let's go further because it's more accurate. Let's say there's a 5 to 10 to 20% differential. Well, for every 1% differential, you have to pay a fine of 1% out of your profits from the year before.
So she says that she is into enforcement, but from the comments section on the live stream, the people do not agree with her, claiming she ignored white-collar crime because it was hard to prosecute, and she even refused to prosecute a case her department had gathered evidence on, and urged her to move forward with a prosecution, but she declined to do so. So yeah, she is all about enforcement if it's easy or it suits her, I guess. She then goes on to claim she will tax companies 1% of last year's profits for every 1% difference between men and women's pay, which won't net her any tax fines since it's already against the law to pay women less. She admitted this herself at the start of the speech. Guess her memory does not extend past a few moments ago.
So 5% differential, you got to pay 5% as a fine of what your profits were the year before. And where is that money going to go? Well, you know, we've been talking a lot about the need for family leave, but what we really need is paid family leave. That money is going to go into a fund for paid family leave so that those women also, who invariably are the ones who have to leave work to take care of a sick child or an aging parent, can also get paid while they are doing that important work. So that's my big idea.
So there you see it. Her big idea is to tax companies that break her imaginary gender wage gap, promising it will fund paid leave for women who need to look after children. Which is all good, but the tax won't get any money since the companies in question are literally not allowed to pay women less than men for doing the same job while working the same hours, under the same conditions. It's insane a supposedly educated person would spout this shit in 2019. Now let's take a look at the animal rights activists storm the stage, causing the panel to completely shit themselves while the announcer does her best to drown out the invader's message in case it disagrees with their narrative, I'm guessing. Although he's an animal rights activist, so I doubt he's going to be too much against what they're on about. But watch the clip and we'll have a look at it, it's quite funny.
On implementation of your first big idea on the gender pay gap, not everyone works for a corporation.
Yes.
And a big...
Oh.
Hey, hey,
Whoa.
hey, 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 no, hey, 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 hey,
Hello. Okay. Hi.
We're just outside this building protesting a few minutes ago, asking for your attention to a much bigger idea than...
Thank you so much, sir, for your big idea. But we want to make sure that we are able to get through this. Okay, it's okay, folks. It's okay. People have their own big ideas. They have their own big ideas.
Yeah.
But we also want to make sure that we are being respectful to our folks that have come here to speak to us.
You just got to be respectful
here's
to
what
all
we're
the
gonna
folks that are coming out here.
Yeah, we want that respect.
So as you can see, he don't really storm the stage. He comes up quite calm and in no way aggressively, in my opinion. But these women look at him like he's fucking Ted Bundy. The terror in their face is real over a complete non-issue. The best moment is when Kamala Harris exits stage left sharpish. She was off on her fucking toes away from the savage man oppressing her. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the video, guys. This feminist politician is completely brainwashed with the feminist ideology and rubbishes her own claims before she even starts, along with one of the cringiest dances on stage I've ever seen in my life. Now let me know what you think down in the comments below, and remember to hit the like button and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I'll see you all in the next video.
Man's gonna kill this shit, you'll need SWAT and medics too. Off for the contract credits due. Punchline king, I'm ahead of you. A your knees where you're heading to. Whip is green but the lights are blue. Bars are shit, take the mic from you. Heating up cheese, I don't like fondue.